All right, everyone, we've been talking market structure here with Haim Bodek, our resident algorithm specialist. And we've talked about internalization. We've talked about the sort of process of fragmentation and where your order goes. We've talked about dark pools, HFT, the different entities involved in routing your order and the different places your order gets sent to. So exchanges, market makers, lit pools or dark pools. So tell me, how does this all kind of bridge together? And can we give our audience that real explanation on where their order goes?
Yeah, well, I can basically say to a degree where it probably ends up, but the path it takes there might be a little bit more complex. I guess the first place to divide it is, is your order, market order or a limit order, right? And then if it's a limit order, is it a marketable limit order or non-marketable? So non-marketable would be to buy at a pretty good price that no one wants to trade with right now.
Right.
So market orders and marketable limit orders, for the most part, are going to go, a retail broker is going to sell that order flow to a market maker, and he's going to decide whether or not he wants to trade with it.
Right. Or trade off.
Right. Now let's talk about that's what's going to happen. It has not gone to an exchange, hasn't gone to a dark pool.
Right.
It's kind of untouchable. So in the way this might affect all of us is that no one else gets to trade against this order over this period of time. Right. Even if we could provide a better price, we can't trade with that order. Now the non-marketable, the resting limit order, may be routed by the market maker, but think about it, the market maker has to pay for these orders. Right? Why would you buy an order that was not at a price you wanted to trade? Right? So, you can go look at what's called the Rule 606 reports that all brokers have, and you'll see patterns like that all of my limit orders were routed to an exchange, whereas all my market orders was routed to this market maker I have a relationship with. Right? So there'll be different behavior there. Now, I guess what I'm going to kind of steer everyone to in this discussion is, the role that the exchange has in it. Okay. So I just told you, if I didn't want that limit order, where's it going to go? An exchange.
Right.
Okay.
And these are the 13 exchanges available.
Yep.
So you got NYSE, NASDAQ.
Yeah.
And the slew of others.
Yep. Exactly. So if for that market order that I got, I may want to trade with it, but let's say it's for a lot of shares, right? Let's say the guy sent me this market order, and this might be a little hint here, is you probably don't want to send your market order for a non-retail size, because it's going to go to that market maker, and he has the option to trade with you. Look at it, says, why would I want to give this guy that much size? So what's he going to do with that toxic flow? He might look at it and say, this is toxic. I'm going to dump it on the exchange.
Okay.
So you have this pattern of off-exchange cherry picking all the good orders, all the orders that look uninformed, all the orders that are small enough that they're not going to move the market, and you have a pattern of taking, the less favorable orders, and they go to the exchange.
Okay. So you touched on two interesting topics for me. You touched on the toxic flow.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about how they define toxic flow versus flow that they would accept?
Yeah, well, there's different metrics. What's funny is, you can cut and dice flow all sorts of different ways, right?
Definitely.
So size thresholds really do matter. Okay. And I've seen models which define toxicity simply by size. Okay. And these are models that have worked in the past. They may not be so good now. But this concept of I'm trading Apple. Do I want to trade with the guy who's lumping around 2,000 shares at a time? No, I can just skip every one of those, and that's going to have a dramatic impact on my what we call our post-trade metrics, or the P&L footprint of that trade after it's consummated. Right. So what market makers will do is they'll look at the trade and say, how did it perform in the future? right? That's something we all do. Something I do quite a bit with all of the types of algorithmic trading I've done. So we look at the future, and that's actually kind of your definition. They can look at, I might be a smart algo guy, and I'm just going to send my order, to a dark pool or to an internalizer, and I'm going to pretend I'm retail, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to trade SPY with that guy every time the minis tick.
Right.
He's going to pick up on it no matter how small I am.
No kidding.
Okay, so he's going to look at that. He's going to look at that trading and say, "This is toxic," right? So these guys do assess the toxicity of order flow from different parties, and
guys, FYI, that's me. He's talking about. They're literally after guys like me.
So they're looking at people who they care about whether or not that order has not moved the market over a certain time horizon, because they believe on average that they can exit the risk of trades that they do, provided the market doesn't move adversely in a certain time horizon. So that's what they care about.
So that's your toxic flow.
Yeah. So by the way, keep in mind they're buying this order flow.
Okay.
So that means, think about it. If you're going to pay for something, shouldn't you value it?
Definitely.
So I can't get into all of it, but every market maker has pretty sophisticated metrics that they use to decide what they're going to pay for order flow.